said a hip hop, the hip it to the hip hop. You don't stop the rocker to the bang bang boogie. Say up jump the boogie to the rhythm of the boogie beat. Now what you hear is not a test.
Hey, just a heads up, we got 4 parts coming up, talking a little bit in part 1. You know where you are based on the title. Are you kidding? Baseball, trying to fit everything going on in one day and one title on YouTube with the restrictions? Do the best we can with the title. Look in the descriptions as well. This may be in 3 to 4 parts. First part talking about A-Rod, and then boom, a whole slew litany of games that happened today, end of week 17. All right.
Brian Cashman told reporters that he's not comfortable speaking with third baseman Alex Rodriguez because there is a possibility of a lawsuit down the road. So now you have a situation with the Yankees where Cashman's not talking with Alex Rodriguez. Cashman says this whole situation has been a distraction for him. He can't speak to as to whether or not it's a distraction for people on the field. Now, Joe Girardi has a different take. He says it's his job to manage the player, and he feels like Alex Rodriguez has been pretty good. From his perspective, he does not think Alex Rodriguez has been a distraction.
So is it as simple as that, Barry? If you can deliver on the plate, doesn't matter what kind of circus you bring with you?
Well, to a certain point, absolutely. But you have to look at the comparisons, the comparables. The third baseman that he had out there before Alex Rodriguez got there gave him absolutely nothing. So that he is the best option that they have. And I think we really have to commend not only Joe, but the baseball players for dealing with this. I think there's only one team that can deal with this kind of circus atmosphere, and that's the Yankees.
And they're not going to make the playoffs with this circus atmosphere going on for the rest of the year. I mean, for the GM to not be comfortable talking to his own third baseman, for the manager to be drawn in that he actually, you know, played Alex Rodriguez so he could get hurt so they wouldn't have to pay him. You've got to be kidding me. At some point, A-Rod is going to just have to stop talking about this and, more important, tell his camp. No more lawyer speak from you guys because it's not doing anybody any good on the field for our team.
Earlier this weekend, Tim Kirchen survived an entire day in just 1 hour of sleep. You ready for some more adrenaline? We're going to do it now with the Sunday stretch. All of your highlights, 20-plus minutes, as we are not taking a break. Let's stretch it out with all that you need to know from Major League Baseball. Look at all those teams in action today. Let's kick it off with the Dodgers and the Phillies. 42 of their last 50, Tim. That's tied for the second best stretch in the last 100 years.
100 years. Dodgers, unbelievable. And how they picked up 17 games in the standings in under 2 months is amazing.
Cole Hamels giving it up to Andre Ether, his 9th home of the year. Dodgers up 1-0. Bottom of the ninth now tied at 2. Casper Wells hits one to Hanley Ramirez. I defer to the Hall of Famer Barry Larkin. What happened here?
Well, you can see Hanley took kind of a bad route on it and wasn't in position to throw. You can see he didn't really feel like he had enough time, kind of rushed his throw, short-armed at the first base. That's not actually a terrible throw to the first baseman. First baseman, most of the time, is going to catch that ball.
Well, that's Jerry Harrison, and he's not a first baseman.
Fellows release, basic to right center. Yasiel Puig gets a cutoff man to keep Ruiz at first. Ruiz, by the way, 4 for 4. The winning run is now on third. Next batter is Jimmy Rollins, pinch hitting. Intentionally walked, that loads the bases.
Remember, you just said that. Yasiel Puig hits the cutoff man. Remember that.
A rarity, okay? Michael Young pinch hitting to Ramirez. Can't handle it. Wells scores. Second error of the ninth.
Runner on first base. Tried to throw the ball to the second baseman before he had a handle on the ball. That's the Achilles heel. You can see right here. Ball hit to his right. He's in perfect position, but he looks up to second base before he catches the ball.
Let's go inside the diamond and more on Yasiel Puig and his errant throws.
Well, we talked about the enthusiasm, and this is an enthusiastic play and a spectacular play showing off the arm. But what he allows happen is that back runner to go to second base by missing the cutoff man. That ball's over 23 feet in the air. You gotta hit the cutoff man, or at least throw it down around the cutoff man so you can keep the double play in order. He did not do that. Runners in both runners in scoring position.
How do you curb that kind of aggressiveness after a while? Do you, or do you just let him go?
Well, I think you have to let him go because this energy is the biggest reason that the Dodgers are where they are. I saw them when they were struggling. I watched him come in there, and everybody elevated his play because of him. Now, when they get to the playoffs, somebody's going to have to explain to him, all right, this is a different animal here, and you can't miss the cutoff man by 50 feet. If Earl Weaver were still alive, he would have grabbed that kid in the dugout and said, the double play is not in order because of you. The next time, hit the cutoff man. He has all sorts of trouble with that, but you cannot ask him to play a different style. But he's going to have to harness it just a little.
You can't ask him to play a different style, but you can demand that he hits the cutoff man. Hit the cutoff man. He'll hit the cutoff man. Simple as that. Absolutely.
Dodgers have been incredible, even with the loss. You look at their odds now of making the playoffs, and as Tim mentioned, the amount of games they picked up, and this is insane. The chances to make the postseason from June 21st to now, unbelievable.
And they were 12 games under after 72. No team has ever done what the Dodgers have done, being that far under 500 after 72 games. It's remarkable.
But they have that dominant type of pitching, have that dominant type of offensive club. They have that dominant type of team.
Last night's fireworks with Steven Strasburg, the umpire's laying down the law here. Julio Tehran, he actually leads the NL 12-hit batsman. And remember, this rivalry started brewing after Tehran hit Bryce Harper and both benches cleared.
Well, that pitch right there, I don't know if it was intentional or not, but certainly Tehran is going to try to establish that inside part of the plate. Bryce Harper did happen to hit a couple of long home runs and took his time going around the bases. But listen, this interleague rivalry, this is what you want. When the Nationals come to town, you're the Atlanta Braves. Listen, we're getting into a fight in this series. We're going to fight because we have to beat this team. We have to establish our dominance.
Harper's Nats who failed to score in the inning. Bottom of the first, that's Chris Johnson.
The having a great year, by the way.
Johnson's been unbelievable. One of the best hitters in the National League. Braves up 2-0. Top of the third, Nats down 2-0. Anthony Rendon hit by Tehran's pitch. Didn't seem to be intentional. Rendon and Freddie Freeman are actually laughing about it here.
Yeah, you see him shaking his head right there. And he pitches inside. That's what he does. He has to establish the inside part of the plate in order to be effective. And if he happens to miss, that's why most pitchers are uncomfortable throwing inside.
Craig Kimbrell gets Harper to strike out the check swing. Harper thought he held his swing. The third base umpire, Marvin Hudson, disagrees. What do you think? Looks like he went around.
Yeah, it looked like he went. That's a tough call, though.
All right. So you know where you were, / and or are, based on the title. Part 1, we were talking about A-Rod, become the Johnny Manziel, Major League Baseball. Yasiel Puig, he made that throw. This is also in part 1. A couple shows back we showed that. But yeah, they're talking about fundamentals for sure. You know where you are based on which part. And then the rest of them, if you're on part 1, the rest, I'm not sure how it's going to break down. Parts 4. The reason we have to do this is because of the DMCA. Hey, welcome to Talk Radio version, the OMSR. Post-discussion, post-game, post-video discussion. I am your host, Will, the alternative ESPN Sports Throw. All right, the DMCA, what the hell's that? Why do I care? Maybe you don't, you're not a producer. Just so you know that the Good Ship Sports Clip Lollipop on YouTube has sailed in terms of, why do you think it is that there are all kinds of, all you sports junkies, I'm sure you've seen them, your 13-second, 57-second, whatever it may be, 124-bit clips run around all over YouTube. Those are also within the DMCA. But whosoever is attempting to do that, they're not like putting any originality into it. Now, if you want to get a slightly longer highlight reel, and in this case it's more than slight, there has to be an amalgamation with your own original content. The DMCA covers minimal use, fair use standard, and derivatives. We definitely stick to all 3 of those with an emphasis on minimal use. There's a percentage that works out. Alright, so if you want to get involved vis-a-vis comments, be respectful to your fellow tubers and the show. So, back to the baseball part of our show. Not the Will flapping his gums part. Not sure where Tim was this morning. Man, Baseball Tonight has a great Sunday morning review of the end of the week. But it gets put off the schedule if other things are going on that ESPN is covering. Yeah, by the way, all the video highlights courtesy to ESPN and the MLB. All the other original content, the overall concept, copyright to the OMSR. In the Platinum Universe. Shades of Gen 4.0 coming out left and right. It'll all be unveiled August 31st. First Saturday of college football. But anyhow, yeah, so he was a man on right. You know, Barry Larkin, he always is a good analyst sort of guy. But Tim has his own show. It's Sunday mornings. He's the man on point. I don't get it. All right. Thanks for watching. No silly DUIs while you're out there. Reminding you, sports and alcohol, they are joined at the hip, especially with baseball sometimes. So just come to the channel. It'll go by so quickly you won't even have time to finish a beer. All right, later days, more signature plays.
I sing it on and on and on and on and on. The beat don't stop until the break of dawn. I sing it on and on and on and on and on like a hot butter. The pop, the pop, the pop, give it, pop, the pop, pop. You don't dare stop.